Chris Cook there. It was Tristram who sparked off this discussion with the speech earlier today. One doesn't want to be bedazzled by the white heat of technology and its potential, but nor does one want to be cynical about those who want to use it. One education blogger called the speech cliché-ridden, but let's hear from the man himself. I spoke to Mr. Hunt earlier today to get him to flesh out his ideas.
I think what's so interesting about this is that on the one hand there are extraordinary opportunities for individualised learning, online learning, but what we also want from our schools is the human interaction. Actually in our schools what we want to see more of at the same time is the art, the drama, the music. So with the technology becomes different learning opportunities, but also more stress on character and resilience and creativity, because one of the challenges of the new digital economy is to build up that innovation within the pupil. So there are learning opportunities for massive open online courses, there are learning opportunities at home, but the school as a human environment, as a scholastic learning environment, still has its place as well.
I mean, you put a list in your speech of some of the technologies that are exciting you: 3D printing, augmented reality, coding, robotics, big data, interactive textbooks. That's an interesting one.
I think what this shows is that some of those traditional divides, that CP Snow 2 cultures divide, has been totally smashed apart by the era of the smartphone and the iPhone. That we need a curriculum and an education system which teaches kind of 21st century skills about design and technology on the one hand, fine art on the one hand, but maths and physics on the other. And separating out that arts and humanities isn't going to work. I think the world of the textbook is really interesting because we know on the one hand that reading off the page can actually help you learn in a different way relative to reading off the computer, but we also know that with the internet the opportunities for online learning are just so enormous. So this is an exciting time to be involved in education.
I mean, maybe the real problem with experimentation in education is that it may work and it may not, it may fail. And your problem is, and this is maybe why schools are often very conservative, is that people would rather go with a model that they know is going to be okay than one that might turn out to be brilliant and might turn out to be a complete disaster. It's in the nature of innovation that it may fail, isn't it?
I think this is absolutely the challenge that we have to face. Children get one chance at education. No parent wants their child to be the guinea pig. But at the moment we see a great deal of innovation within the school system, and that has to continue. But what we're saying is where we have to create new schools, let's also just have an innovation threshold. So yes, you've still got to get the foundational subjects right. The literacy and the numeracy need to be absolutely core to what we're seeing in our schools. But let's also just use this opportunity of a new school to think much more creatively about other elements of the curriculum, about pedagogy, and then crucially, let's share that information with other schools.
If you're going to have schools with different models and trying different things, you're probably going to still need league tables, aren't you? Because otherwise you're not going to know whether they're working or not working, and parents have got to judge these things by something. And we do know that league tables, well, they have some positive effects. I know not everyone likes them, but they do have some positive effects.
No, we need league tables, we need transparency. We live in an age of public sector transparency, whether it's my voting record, whether it's what the BBC pays, whether it's the mortality rates in hospitals. So schools are part of that, and that has to be the case. But what we're also seeing are sort of new league tables for schools developed by the profession themselves, looking at co-curricular activity, looking at where young people go once they finish school, looking at how well they're doing in sport and drama and all those other elements that parents want to see in their schools. So we can think smarter, I think, about the kind of comparisons that we're developing between schools.
Do you think, in all honesty, Michael Gove or Nicky Morgan, who've been shaping education and schools in England under this government, do you think they'd really actually disagree with anything that you've said?
I think what May the 7th offers is a moment to sort of turn the page in education policy. We can lift up our heads again and think about the kind of society and economy and creativity that we want in our education system. So I think they would disagree, but I hope we'll put it to the British people and they'll back Labour.
Tristram Hunt, thank you very much for talking to us. Thank you.
Thank you.